There. Yeah, that's awesome. See how things are going, and maybe 5 or 10 minutes we'll bring everybody in. So the idea was to try to finish by 6:15 between the three of us. It might be a little. Oh. Hi, Charlie.
I just told him. Whoa. Happy Hanukkah, everyone. So we're going to sing a couple Hanukkah songs to get started. If you know the words, I hope you'll sing along. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the tables for latkes to eat. Sivivon to play with and latkes to eat. And while we were playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Oh, one for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Not by might and not by power, by spirit alone, Ruach, shall we all live in peace. Not by might and not by power, by spirit alone, Ruach, shall we all live in peace. Everybody clap your hands. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The children sing. The children dream. And their tears may fall, but we'll hear them call, and another song will rise. Another song will rise. Another song will rise. Everybody clap your hands. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Not by might and not by power, by spirit alone, Ruach, shall we all live in peace. Oh, not by might and not by power, by spirit alone, Ruach, shall we all live in peace. Not by might, not by might, not by power, not by power. Shalom, shalom. So happy Hanukkah, everybody. Welcome back to CRC. Rabbi Randy pointed out earlier, literally, let me try this one instead. How's that, better? So Rabbi Randy pointed out earlier that Hanukkah is literally rededication. And this feels like a rededication of CRC, of this community, of being together. It's amazing. It's amazing. So a quick teaching about Hanukkah, maybe my favorite Hanukkah teaching. So we talk all about the idea that there was this Hanukkah miracle, right? The miracle that the oil lasted for 8 days. That we had just enough oil to last for 1 day, we're told, and yet it lasted for 8 days until we could get more oil. So first of all, this is not the most exciting miracle ever, I think, right? It's like the cell phone that lasts for 8 days instead of 1, though that also might be exciting. But when you think about it, the miracle is only for 7 days, not for 8. right? Why do we celebrate on that 8th day? And the answer to this question is we celebrate Hanukkah, we celebrate on that 8th day. The real reason that we celebrate is that in an uncertain world, in a world where it felt like the cards were stacked against us, that we still had, as Rabbi Susan says, the holy chutzpah to light that light. So I know it can feel that way this year. Hanukkah is always the darkest week of the year. If you think about the moon, if you think about the sun, Hanukkah is always the darkest week of the year. And so it's a reminder, it's our job to be that light. So I know I can feel that light being back here with all of you all. So happy Hanukkah.
I just wanted to say happy Hanukkah to everyone. I really missed all of you last year, and I especially missed lighting the first night with everyone. So it's really good to be with you all, and happy Hanukkah.
All right. Tell you what, in just a few moments, we're going to fill up this room and these rooms with our one candle. You know, one candle brings light to darkness, even one candle. And we know that eventually we're going to have a full blaze of candles on our menorahs, our Hanukkah menorahs. But even the one candle brings light. Just like any mitzvah, any good deed, any kind word, anything that you do that's positive, just one makes a huge difference. But what's really wonderful about First Night, First Light, and we've been doing this for a very long time at CRC. Harriet Barron showed me a picture. What year was that from, Harriet? A picture of her daughter Emily at First Night, First Light from a long time, in the 80s. Who remembers the 80s? Yeah, there you go. So we've been having First Night, First Light that long. And what's beautiful about it, besides just coming together, is that each of our first candles multiplied by all of the people that are here, as Rabbi Daniel said, for this rededication. We haven't had this many people inside the synagogue, as I was reminded, since Purim of 2020. So look around, see people that you know, people that you haven't met yet. And what I'd like to do is raise your hand if you're here on Wednesdays for religious school, our third, fourth, fifth, sixth graders. So I'm going to ask you guys to help everybody else, because before we light Hanukkah candles, we have to remember how good it is just to be together. So you guys know this. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how pleasant, how holy, how sweet it is when a group of people gathers together. And then when you add to it, it's a holiday, it's the best. So let's sing. Everybody ready? Take a deep breath. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Amen. So I know, if look around at all these menorahs, all of these Hanukkah menorahs that you guys brought from home, and I know that many of them have their own story. Actually, probably all of them have their own story. And in Hanukkah, stories are really important. Some stories are historical stories, and some stories are legendary stories. But Hanukkah should be filled with stories. So who'd like to hear the story of this Hanukkah menorah, this Chanukiah? I'm going to tell you this story because, like all good stories, it's meant to be told over and over and over again. Just like the story of the miracle of the oil, like the story of the Maccabees, who wanted to be independent and free and to be Jewish the way that they defined their Judaism. This Hanukkah menorah has a special story. So I'm going to tell you that story before we light all of the Chanukiot. So as everybody see, it's kind of a gold-colored Chanukiah. It's got an eagle on it, which is kind of interesting and different. This Hanukkah menorah, this Chanukiah once belonged to a synagogue, a congregation called Temple Israel. Now, many of you have probably been to Temple Israel. It's in kind of that Ladue, Creve Coeur sort of area. But does anyone know where Temple Israel was before they moved to the building they're in now? Raise your hand if you know the cross streets. Elliot, where was Temple Israel? That is exactly right. He said Kings Highway and Washington. Now, our synagogue, Central Reform, our Sukkot Shalom, is at the intersection of Kings Highway and Waterman. If you walk, a block and a half, 2 blocks to the north on Kings Highway, you will come to Washington Street, or Washington. On that corner are 2 buildings that were Temple Israel's buildings. One was their sanctuary, where they had services, and one was their religious school building, where they had Hebrew school and Sunday school and teen programs. The rabbi who was at Temple Israel when they moved was named Rabbi Ferdinand Isserman. Do any of you guys have anyone at school named Ferdinand? I'm not sure we use that. You know a Ferdinand? Awesome. This was Rabbi Isserman. And at Temple Israel, they had a Hanukkah menorah. And it was this one. And every Hanukkah, they would have programs and events, and they would light this menorah, just like we're about to light it. In 1963, a very long time ago, not as long ago as the Maccabees and the Hellenists and the lighting of the menorah in the temple, but 1963, Temple Israel congregation moved from their building on Washington and Kings Highway to where they are now in Creve Coeur/Ladue. But Rabbi Isserman was very sad to leave this neighborhood. He loved this neighborhood. He had made friends in this neighborhood. There were 3 churches and Temple Israel on each corner of Washington and Kings Highway, and they used to call it Holy Corners because of the churches and the synagogue. And the ministers of the churches and Rabbi Isserman would get together, and they would do interfaith programs. So Rabbi Isserman was sad to leave this neighborhood. And so he decided to leave part of Temple Israel in the neighborhood. It was long before CRC was here. They did leave their name on one of the buildings. You could see it still etched there. But they wanted more. So Rabbi Isserman took this menorah right here, and he walked across the street to United Methodist Church, where he was friends with the minister. And he said to his friend, the minister, Temple Israel has to leave this neighborhood, but we want you, St. John's, to keep this Chanukiah so that you could keep the light on in our neighborhood. Keep hope, keep love, keep the spirit of cooperation and diversity alive in this neighborhood. And the minister said, thank you. And for many years, St. John's Church had this menorah. Now, you might wonder, what would a church do with a Hanukkah menorah, right? Because they don't celebrate Hanukkah at the Methodist Church. So who has a thought? Raise your hand. Use your imagination. What would a church do with a Jewish Hanukkah menorah? Anybody have an idea? Be creative. Raise your hand. Anybody? Well, yes, what did they do? What do you think? Say it louder. Give it away. Well, actually, not yet. We're almost there. St. John's Methodist Church used this menorah to teach. Oh, do you have, here, go ahead. Who's that raising their hand? Say it really loud. He said, light it on Hanukkah. And actually, that's pretty much what they did. They would, when this church meets on Sundays, and every Sunday, the minister of the church, for decades, would take out the menorah, and they would talk about Temple Israel, and they would talk about holy corners, and they would talk about Hanukkah and what it means to their Jewish neighbors and their Jewish brothers and sisters. And every Sunday of Hanukkah, there was a special service devoted to Hanukkah, even though it was a Methodist church. But about 10 years ago, St. John's Methodist Church had to close. And the minister at the time was a man named Reverend Wally. And I was here by then, and Rabbi Susan was here, and we were friends with Reverend Wally. And we would do activities with the church, and we started Holy Ground, modeled after Holy Corners. And this is a true story. Everyone see those windows where Klezundheits are? So one Friday night service, I was here. And Reverend Wally, you could see, we always have to have windows in a synagogue so we can see what's going on in our neighborhood, so we don't close ourselves off. And so it was Friday night. There was a group of people here for Shabbat, and I saw Reverend Wally walking with this big, heavy menorah right down the street by our synagogue. Was anybody here that night? I was here. And then he disappeared because, look, the windows end. And he came in the door of our synagogue right here. And see where that green exit sign is? He walked right up that aisle with this menorah. And he walked right up to the bima, where the band is gathered. And he said, Rabbi Randy. And of course, we stopped the service because we wanted to greet our guest, Reverend Wally Sherburne. He said, Rabbi Randy and members of CRC, he said, we have to close the doors of our church. And many years ago, we were given this menorah by Rabbi Isserman of Temple Israel. And now we want you to have it so that you, CRC, can keep the lights on in the neighborhood. And so ever since then, 10 years, we've lit this menorah on first night, first light. We've lit it on the Friday night of Hanukkah when we have Shabbat services and other special programs. And tonight, this amazing group, along with all of your individual menorahs, we're going to light this Hanukkah, this holy ground Hanukkah as well, that represents what Hanukkah should be all about. Every single tradition, every single religion shining their light, their own unique light, to make the world a brighter place. And so tonight, we light our special Jewish light, and we add it to the light of the world, even though it's dark outside, even though there's many challenges in life and sadness. When we light these lights, we prove that there can be more joy, more sweetness, more love, more holiness, and more peace in the whole world. So that's what we're about to do. So I want to sing a song of candle lighting, because this is the festival of lights. If you come to Friday night services, you know this prayer, so you can sing it with me. Hear our prayers, we sing to you. Be gracious to the ones we love, and bless them with goodness, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Hear our prayers. Hear our prayers to you. Let us light these lights. Let us light these lights and see our way to you. Let us say amen. Let us say amen. Let us light these lights and see our way to you. And let us say amen. So in a minute, we're going to turn the lights off so that we can really see all the light. Even though Hanukkah sometimes is in November on the American calendar, and sometimes it's in December on the American calendar, Hanukkah is always on the 25th of the Hebrew month of Kislev. Always at the end of the month, when the days are short and getting cold, and our Hanukkah lights bring more warmth and more hope and more light to our world and the world. So I'm going to ask Rabbi Daniel, Rabbi Karen to come back up, and their kids can come join them if they're somewhere around here. And let's try really hard. Let's try really hard to be as quiet as we can. Just try. Everyone, try really hard. If you're talking, just try to stop. No big deal. No demand. Just kind of an experiment. So let's have Ilana over there turn off the lights. It's all good. Rabbi Karen wants to know if anyone needs candles.
Anybody need candles?
Good, okay. So, we have 3 blessings on the first night of Hanukkah. The other nights, there's 2 blessings. But on the first night, there are 3. The first blessing is for the mitzvah of lighting candles on Hanukkah. It almost sounds exactly like the blessing for the mitzvah of lighting candles on Shabbat, but instead of saying Hadlik Ner Shel Shabbat, it says Hadlik Ner Shel Hanukkah. The second blessing is for miracles. Miracles that happened a long time ago, like the Hanukkah stories and the Hanukkah miracle, and the miracle that even though Judaism is so many places and times a minority, and very often a minority that is persecuted and discriminated against and worse, even though all that is true, here we are in St. Louis, Missouri, lighting our Hanukkah candles. You know, Amy is here, my wife Amy. We had Hanukkah many years ago in Jordan, the same year that there was peace between Israel and Jordan. And we lit Hanukkah candles in our hotel room, not our hotel room, in the dining room of the hotel, with all these other Jewish families in the middle of Jordan. And I'll never forget that. So that was a miracle. This is a miracle. And you guys are all miracles. It's a miracle that we're here together. So that second blessing is about miracles, long ago miracles, and miracles right now. And the third blessing is Shehechianu, which we say on the first day, the first moment of every holiday, to remind us how awesome this moment is. And this is an awesome moment. And when we light the candles all over this room, Hanukkah will officially begin. So everyone take a deep breath. Fill yourself with goodness and sweetness and holiness and light. And I want everyone to try really hard just to be present, to watch your candle burning and to watch the other candles burning, to watch the light fill up this space, and just let it be a moment of awe and wonder and beauty. So, first light your shamas, your helper candle, and here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shechanukah. Go ahead and light your first candle if you haven't done so already. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim lavotenu ve'imotenu vayamim hahem bazman hazeh. And before we sing Shehachianu, just look, just watch, just take it in. It's so beautiful. You're all so beautiful. The candles make beauty. Let us be like these candles and bring more light into the world. Everybody ready? And you know what? The neighborhood is supposed to see our light. And I bet you, anyone that walks by these windows will see a room filled with goodness and a room filled with holiness and a room filled with the first night of Hanukkah, which makes us sing Shehechianu. Ready? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen. Hold on now, hold on. You can decide if this is a traditional Hanukkah song or a Rabbi Randy traditional Hanukkah song. But I think it works. But I think it's appropriate. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Come on now. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Sing it with me now. Come on, this little light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Keep going. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Every day and night. Come on now. Every day and night, I'm gonna let it shine. Hallelujah. Every day and night, I'm gonna let it shine. There you go. Every day and night, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. This little light of mine. Keep going. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh yeah. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Everywhere I go. Well, every day and night. Let's do that. Every day and night, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day and night, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day and night, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. One more time. This little light of mine, everyone. This little light of mine. You sound great. I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. 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 Don't let the lights go out. Don't let the lights go out. Try that. Don't let the lights go out. Keep going. Don't let the light go out. Don't let the light go out. Don't let the light go out. Let's turn on the lights. We've got a very special treat. This is the first night, first light, where we actually are having our wonderful friends, the Klezundheits, perform. They always perform Simchat Torah klezmer. Now you're going to experience Hanukkah klezmer. But first, I want to thank a few people while we're all kind of gathered like this. I want to thank our volunteers from CRC who helped out today. Lisa Huxley, raise your hand, Lisa. And Margie Weissman. And Michael Cornillin, Michael. Want to thank Ezra that worked with Autumn with the streaming and the sound. Want to thank Ilana for helping make all this happen. And Autumn for streaming. And Tanner, who's helping make sure that when we leave this building, it still looks like our Sukkot Shalom is supposed to look. And James, you guys, who's at the front door on Friday nights and Saturday morning and tonight, when you leave, make sure you wish him a happy birthday. He had a very special birthday, right? Rabbi Karen for all the amazing crafts. Right? I have a question. We made a Shachianu. Is there anyone here that's having their very first Hanukkah of their whole life? I had a feeling. Risa, oh my gosh, your first Hanukkah. Well, it's one you'll never forget, I'm quite sure. What's that? And more first Hanukkahs, Mazel Tov, congratulations. Many, many more. Do you want to do a thing? Want to say something? Okay, so here's what's going to go on now. See, there's Klezundheits. They're all ready to play a concert. You can move over to the sanctuary. You can stay right where you are. There's plenty of space to kind of do the social distancing that we want to do to keep each other safe. And I think that's pretty much what we want to do right here. So it should be a happy and healthy and light-filled Hanukkah for each and every one of you. We're going to have Hanukkah videos, courtesy of the CRC rabbis, every evening at 5:30, and also it'll be a video after, except for Friday night, because on Friday night we'll light the candles here at services. But watch for Hanukkah special videos on the CRC Facebook pages and YouTube page. Any other Hanukkah announcement?
They can leave their Hanukkahs on their table.
Oh yeah, leave your Hanukkah on the table. It'll burn down while the music's playing, just like the song says. The candles will be burning low. So without any further ado, this is so much of the spirit of Hanukkah, which is all about joy and being freilach, which means joyful and filled with light. I'd like you to give a warm welcome to our friends, the Klezundheits, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Hanukkah.
2, 3, 4. Hello, everybody. I'm back. And that was a threat. Am I okay? Train.
All right, we're ready. Are we ready? This tune. Octave A. Good evening, everyone, and happy Hanukkah to everyone. We're going to make a lot of noise real soon here. Hope we don't scare you away. We are Klezundheit, for those of you who haven't seen us on Simchas Torah. We're glad to be back for Hanukkah. So if some of you inclined to dance with your masks on, that'd be great. If you want to sit and listen, that's great. You want to clap along, that's great too. So please enjoy. Thank you. That was a piece called, and we are having such a good clapping session over there. She's really dancing and clapping. I hope we get everybody to dance and clap. That was a piece called Lebedik and Freilich, which means roughly lively and happy. You know, there was no klezmer music back in the turn of the century, prior turn of the century. There were klezmer musicians. They went around from place to place. They went from bar mitzvah to weddings to all kinds of other festivals. They played for the king. They played for the local dukes. They would play tunes that they heard on the street. And they just, the klezmer music, what we know as klezmer music now is just a collection of these tunes that these musicians heard around Eastern Europe, in Russia and Poland and in Lithuania and all kinds of other places. We'll even get down to Serbia a little later. So we're going to play a piece called Share. Share is scissors. It's a scissors dance. It's share number 2. I don't know where share number 1 is, but this one is share number 2. And just imagine yourself walking around in a little village in Poland or Russia or Ukraine, and listen to the sounds of the village happening around you. So this is share number 2. Jeff Collins on clarinet, on C clarinet, a monster instrument. Well, some of you may remember this guy here. It's not CRC klezmer without Leon. So, we thought we'd have a little welcome music here for Leon to sing. So I'm going to turn it over to him. We'll start with him.
Kommt zusammen, brüderlich und schwesterlich, boberlich und seiderlich, über die ganze Welt mit Dorf Shalom machen, Akshav. Oh, I thought Morby would speak the Mama Loshin. Well, basically I said, come together, brothers and sisters, grandfathers and grandmothers, darkness and light, the whole world around. We have to make peace now. Und wir zählen alle Brüder, oi, oi, alle Brüder, und wir singen fröhliche Lieder, oi, oi, oi. Und wir halten sich in einem, oi, oi, sich in einem, selkens ist nicht aber keinem, oi, 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 oi. Expecting that you'd come together when I got to the refrain, since it's only one word, oi. Next time, we gotta do better, okay? Second verse. Und wir singen fröhlich munter, oi, oi, fröhlich munter, singen Lieder, tanzen unter, oi, oi, oi. Und wir singen alle Schwester, oi, oi, alle Schwester, also wie Ruchel, Russ und Esther, oi, oi, oi. Oi, 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 oi. Well, better than last time. Still a bit lackluster. It's Hanukkah! It's a holiday! Sing along! I expect a lot of oying this next time, and you know who you are. I see you. Okay, Bob. Und wir singen alle einig, oi, oi, alle einig, zähl mir hoben viel zu wenig, oi, oi, oi. Und wir lieben sich doch alle, oi, oi, sich doch alle, wie a Koschen mit der Gallen, oi, oi, oi. Oi, 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 Ay, 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 ay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bob, you want to tell them about this?
Sure. Well, you can if you'd like.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
So, you probably, if you've been at the Sunday school, the Saturday school here, you probably know this tune. This is Ocho Candelicas. It is a Ladino Hanukkah tune. And if you, since we have some South Americans in the orchestra today, I'll explain that a little bit later. But if you know the song, feel free to sing along. Ocho Candelicas, which means 8 candles. All right.
You didn't tell me everyone knew the song. You didn't tell me everyone already knew this song.
They know the words. You're on.
Oh, now I have to perform. Okay. Hanukkah linda está aquí, 8 calindas para mí. Hanukkah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Oh, una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Muchas fiestas voy a hacer con alegrías y placer. Muchas fiestas voy a hacer con alegrías y placer. Una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 velas para mí. Los pastelicos voy a comer con almendricas y miel. Y pastelicos voy a comer con almendricas y la miel. Oh, una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Una candelicas, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 velas para mí. ¡Olé! Thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll bring back Leon a little later. How many of you know that most of the, or many of the famous Christmas songs were actually written by Jews? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire, by Jews. So we are going to, we've been lucky enough to have an arranger, Justice Matthews, who's also a member of the temple here. Yay, Justice! And he has been doing a little historical work on the klezmer origins of other famous Christmas songs. And so we're going to present that for you today. You might recognize some of these songs as modern Christmas songs, but these are old klezmer songs. Here we go. This is called, Justice calls this, Have Yourself a Very Klezmer Christmas. That was Justice Matthews. Justice, if you're out there listening, that was for you. Justice Matthews, have yourself a very Merry Klezmer Christmas. The next piece we're going to play is a Romanian piece. that was picked up in the journeys of the klezmer musicians. This is called Le Sifflet, which means the whistle. And of course, the whistle is performed by our piccolo player, who is one of our visiting South American musicians. I'm going to tell you that story in just a minute, but let's hear her play. This is Anna. What's your last name? Armadas. We'll get it right. Here we go. Le Sifflet. We're going to play now for you a medley of two tunes from one of the most famous klezmer clarinetists of the turn of the last century. So we have recordings of this guy from 1910, 1908, and he was playing on these ancient instruments, just an amazing technical player. Played some amazingly difficult music, which falls on the head of Jeffrey Collins, our clarinet player tonight. So this is the Naftule Brandwein, who was a Russian clarinetist who moved to America, and we're going to play a medley of his tunes for you. like to tell you about Hanukkah is a holiday of hope, yes?
Definitely hope.
Okay, so hope in the face of insurmountable odds. And Catherine and I have been lucky enough to host 5 visiting musicians from Paraguay for the last 3 months. And I want to tell you a story about hope, unsurmountable odds. They came up here to study with the Ariana String Quartet after having won a national Paraguayan contest for the best chamber music group in all of Paraguay. But their beginnings are in the trash orchestra. Now, you might, it's on PBS, go look it up, Paraguay Trash Orchestra. The kids there were so poor they couldn't afford to buy instruments. So the music director went to the local craftsmen and they went to the trash dump and they fashioned instruments out of what they found in the trash dump. And one of our musicians, Paulo, who plays the viola, over there, wave your hand. Paulo started his career playing a 3-liter, I know we don't have him here, but a 3-liter Coke bottle fashioned into a viola, right? Viola? Yes. Right? And they had a full orchestra and they toured. They went to Europe, they went to Germany, they went to a couple other places. So talk about hope and unsurmountable odds. Here they are today, their first Hanukkah. And we're going to feature another one of them on cello. We're going to give you a little taste of some turn of 2 centuries ago wedding music. Ready? This is a typical wedding music from a wedding in Warsaw around the turn of the 1900s. Ready? was Hector Ramirez, who did not play a 3-liter bottle of Coca-Cola, but you played a cello. A big one. Okay. So we're going to bring Leon back. Here he is. That's his back right there.
I always tell people it's my debut because that's all you see is my debut.
And we're going to do
Oh, well, tough crowd. Okay.
We're going to do a tune that some of you might know, so you're welcome to join in. Randy?
Yes, please. Please.
Leon will lead us.
Don't make me sing this whole thing myself, please.
Show him what he-
Should be in order. I know what's happened. I apologize.
Did you hear about the 2 school kids who were talking with each other? He says, you know, I'm really worried. Why are you worried? Well, you know, my dad works all day to give us food for everything we need, and mom works all day to feed me and take care of me, and I want for nothing. And he says, sounds like the life to me. What are you so worried about?
There it is.
What if they want to escape?
But I think we're ready.
Okay.
Let's just count from the beginning. Go from out of 1, 2.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Havenu Sholem Aleichem, Havenu Sholem Aleichem, Havenu Sholem Aleichem, Havenu Sholem, Sholem, Sholem Aleichem, Yeshir Solam Aleichem, Sholem Aleichem, Havenu Sholem Alechem, Avinu Sholem, Sholem, Sholem Alechem, Avinu Sholem Alechem, Avinu Sholem Alechem, Avinu Sholem Alechem, Avinu Sholem, Sholem, Sholem Alechem, Avinu Sholem Alechem, Avinu Sholem Alechem, Avinu Sholem Alechem, Avinu Sholem, Sholem, Sholem Alechem, Avinu Sholem Alechem, Avinu Sholem Alechem, Avinu Sholem Alechem, Avinu Sholem, Sholem, Sholem Alechem. You guys didn't let me rest.
No, we're not going to let him rest. So you know what you want from Leon. We all know what you want from Leon. There we go.
Oh, I don't know if I can. Okay, hit it. Mr. Jeff Collins, ladies and gentlemen. Ich will bei euch a Kasche fragen, sagt mir, wer es kann. Mir welche Teile vermegen, wünscht Gott allen. Man kauft das nicht für keinen Geld, das geht mir nur umsonst. Und doch als man verliert das eu wie Tränen man vergisst. A zweiten geht mit keinem mit, es hilft nicht kein Gewinn. Oh, wer es hat verloren, der weiß schon, was ich mein jüdischer Mann. Es gibt nicht besser auf der Welt. Oi, mein jüdischer Mann, oi, weh, wie bitter, wenn sie fällt. Wie schön in lichtig ist im Haus, wenn die Mames du. Wie treurig finster wird, wenn Gott nimmt ihr euch allum Habo. Im Wasser, im Feuer, wo sie gelaufen vor ihr Kind. Nicht halten ihr Teil, das ist gewiss die größten sind. Oi, wie glücklich und reich ist der Mensch, was hot, als ein schöner Tunge geschenkt von Gott, nur ein altiger jüdischer Mann. Of things I should be thankful for, I've had a good leisure. And as I sit here in the comfort of a cozy chair, my fancy takes me to a humble east side tenement, 3 flights up in the rear to where my childhood days were spent. It wasn't much like paradise, but mid the dirt and all sat the sweetest angel, one whom I fondly call my Yiddische Mama. I miss her more than ever now. Oh, my Yiddische Mama, I long to kiss her wrinkled brow. I long to hold her hand as I did in days gone by, and ask her to forgive me for things I did that made her cry. How few were her treasures. She never cared for fashion styles. Her jewels and treasures, she found them in her baby's smiles. Oh, I know that I owe what I am today to that dear little lady, so old and gray, to that wonderful Yiddische mama.
Thank you, Leon.
My pleasure.
Our last tune. Thanks for staying. Here we go. Klezmaniacs is the name of this tune. Klezmaniacs. Here we go. A collection of Freilachs.
Thank
yourselves. There is a Hanukkah gift bag, including, I think, jelly donuts, sufganiyot. We can't eat in the building yet. We're working on it. But what a nice way to start Hanukkah. And really, one more time, a round of applause. It was wonderful. Pleasure. What's the next holiday? If you guys do a Tu B'Shvat thing?
Purim.
That's the time, right? Yeah.
An encore. I don't know. Fiddler on the Roof. Next time.